couple of ways you can cut them. There's a speedy way and there's a slow way. So if you're just starting out, you want the practice, you might want to try the slow way. And that is just get one of your boards, put it into your vise. And what I like to do is cut the same angle. So if I'm cutting here, I then cut that one, that one, that one, that one, then change stance and go back the other way. That way your margin for error is a lot less because you're maintaining the same muscle memory and body stance all the way along. Whereas if you go this way and then this way, you're flipping and changing all the time. So we'll just cut this one out for starters, and then I'll show you a quicker way of doing it. Now I'm using a Lee Nielsen dovetail saw and it's tapered. You don't need that. It's very, very nice to have, but if you've got just a Japanese saw or a tenon saw, it will work just as fine. So I'm going to use my thumb as a guide. I'm gripping the back of the board here and I'm going to cut on the pencil line itself or just outside the pencil line. If you cut on the inside of the pencil line, then you can have a smaller dovetail, which isn't what I want. So I'm just cutting just about on that line. Just slow and steady does it. And cut down just before you hit the line at the bottom. A little aid you can use, if you're like me and the eyesight's not the best, get some masking tape. It doesn't have to be green, can be any colour you like. And just split that marking gauge line that we did in the previous video when we were setting it out, and have masking tape around it. Now I can see quite easily when I'm about to hit that line. And depending on your skill level, you can go right up to the line, or I like to stop just a fraction before the line. Sometimes they're a bit hard to start. And if your dovetails aren't perfect, it's not a problem because when you're cutting the sockets, you're going to cut the sockets to fit the dovetails. So now I'm going to come the other way. Again, on the pencil line and stopping just above that gauge line. And that's what you end up with. I'm not worried about the back. The back, you'll notice I'm not all the way down. The reason for that is because of the taper on the saw. And it's designed that way that you won't go too far, because a lot of people have a tendency when sawing to sort of broach the saw and you're up high and then you'll cut in the unseen side. Whereas with the taper, if I cut flat, parallel to the ground, or 90 degrees to the face of the board, I'm going to be a bit shy here. That's okay, I can clean that up later on. Now we've got to get the middle out. And for that, just a fret saw will do the job. This is a new concept saw, but an ordinary fret saw will work just as well. The reason I love this new concept saw is because I can get right down to the base and actually turn a corner and take the whole socket out in one go. The normal coping saw will work just as fine, but you won't be able to get that nice crisp angle I can get. And just for the record, for the first 30 years of my woodworking career, that's all I used to use. I don't have one in this shed, or I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, now we've cleaned those out, it's time to knock the ends off. So what I'm going to do is just put that in the vise and cut straight down. right on that green line. Same with the other shoulder. And there you have it. Now we've just got to clean that out with a chisel, which we'll do. But before we do that, I'll show you the other way. I said it's a lot quicker of doing dovetails. Now, if they've all been set out the same way by using that method I showed you in the previous video, what you can then do is we'll tape one of them. Actually, you can tape both of them, I suppose, if you want. So they're flush here and square and tape together on that marking line. Now we can put both of those in the vise. Double check to make sure they're nice and square. Okay. Another advantage of having those lines drawn is we can line that up. Now we can cut two sets at once. If I'm doing a drawer, this is my preferred way of doing it, apart from the fact it's quicker. It just makes everything the same as well. Cut the waste out. The trick to doing the corner when you turn around is you keep the saw moving. There's nothing here to cut, but I'm cutting, so as I turn the saw on its side, I've got that sawing motion happening, and it'll just go through there like a hot knife through butter. Now, if you can keep it nice and firm and straight, you can do this the same way. If it does move on you, then you might be better off separating them and doing them individually, but this is holding together pretty well. There you go, we'll take the tape off. Identically cut dovetails. Really, really easy to do. Just takes a bit of practice. So we'll clean those up and make sure they're all at the same depth. And for that, I've got a little block that I've made, and I've had for I don't know how many years. And a sharp chisel. Let's put all this away. I really don't know when I made this block, but I reckon it must have been 20 years ago. What are we now? 25 years ago I think I made this, and it still does the job. So all you want is this a bit of hardwood. Make sure that it's square. Every so often it's not a bad idea just to check the squareness of it, because you will at some stage have to clean this face up here because it's going to get marked. I've got arrows, so I know that's the face I'm cutting off of. If you don't want to mark your bench when you're doing this, just get a bit of sacrificial timber, put it down, squirt of water to hold it in place, get your block, squirt of water on the back of the block, put it there, and again bisect that mark that you had, just like that, and we'll put a clamp on it. If there's any adjustments to be made, you can just do the old tappy tap. When it comes to the chisels, you can get one exactly the right width. That doesn't always work because sometimes your sawing has been off a little bit and the tail's a little bit close together, which means you're going to stretch the shoulder. So I always go a size chisel below what the width of the gap is between the tails. And use this as your fence. Have the back of the blade hard against here, hold it with your fingers if you like, and then just push down. You're not taking very much out, but you're squaring it up. And that's going to give you a nice crisp shoulder when you're actually going into the sockets. If there's too much there to take in one bite, take a little bit and walk back onto it. And by keeping it flat against here, you're not going to go too deep or too shallow. This one is going to take a couple of bites, so I'll just chip away at that a little bit. You can, if it's hardwood, by all means use a mallet. But this is New Guinea rosewood. It's pretty soft and pretty well behaved. And there you go, that's all there is to it. And there it is. Easy, not hard at all. So the next video I'll do, we'll cut the sockets. And I'm doing these in short videos because some people, they just want to know how to draw dovetails up. Other people want to know how to cut them out. Other people want to know how to set a socket up. Other people want to know how to clear a socket so it all fits together. That's why they're just short little videos, and I hope you like them. So this is Steve pulling the shirt door down saying, remember to keep it sharp, especially your chisels when you're cutting dovetails. Keep it safe, look after yourself, be kind to each other, and I look forward to having your company in the workshop again very soon when we'll be cutting some sockets. Till then, look after yourself. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.